I am live today, and we are going to be doing a drop-in around Panchakarma. I just wanted to begin by saying welcome to all the new subscribers. It's so wonderful to have you here, and I thought that we would get this kicked off with just a little drop-in around what Panchakarma is and give some details. I'm going to go ahead and just give a couple moments here to see if anybody is able to filter in. Oh, hello, Amanda. Oh, goodness, it's so good to see you. I've been wondering when you were going to pop up again. I've been waiting to see you. I've been wondering where you were, so it's good to see that you are still in the Panchakarma life flow. And so excited to drop in with you and everybody else who is familiar with Panchakarma, and to also introduce Panchakarma to those who are not familiar with it. So let me just begin by introducing myself. Hello, good morning, Amanda. As Shannon, the practitioner, the Ayurvedic practitioner, I'm one of many hats, okay? We're many hats, and being a reader and intuitive is just one of the things that I do. Oh yes, I feel you. Life has been really full. It's been quickening, right? The energy's really picking up, but it's picking up in the best way. It feels expansive. It feels like fresh air coming in. It's a lot of good energy that's coming in now. It's really good to see you, though. I've been thinking about you, so I'm so glad you showed up. So I was like, where's Amanda been? I haven't seen her in a while. So let me just share a little bit for those who are new here to Broad Coven, okay, because there are so many new people here, and I just want to let you know what Panchakarma is about and why the heck do I have a right to even share Panchakarma. So I'm going to give you a little background about me and introduce you. So for those of you who are already well aware and familiar, go ahead, take this opportunity to grab yourself a chai, or in this case, I'm starting out with my dirty chai. I'm transitioning a little bit from the winter season into spring. So I have, oh gosh, let me see. Let me think. I got to do the math here, okay? I have 30 years experience in the holistic health field, okay? I started out as a transformational body worker. I did a lot of restructuring kind of work, rehabilitative kind of work, and did a lot of that work on a physical therapy level. I also have been a reader for, 32 years, okay? So I've been at this stuff for a while. And I brought in those elements into the work I do, of course, as a holistic healthcare practitioner. And then I would say, let me think about the timing here. I started down that road in 2011 as an Ayurvedic practitioner. Wow. Okay. So it's been a while. It's been like, I'm heading into my 12th year as an Ayurvedic practitioner. And Ayurveda is something that's been very beneficial for me in my own life. It really transformed my life. It helped me through a major health crisis. And I always wanted to learn about Ayurveda. I always wanted to study Ayurveda, but I couldn't find a school where I was at the time. I was in the Sonoma County area, which is a North San Francisco Bay area in California. And I just didn't know of any schools near me. And then I came to find out about the fabulous Deanna Batdorf, who is my teacher in Ayurveda. And she used to have a beautiful healing center called the Dhyana Center. And I think they are still operating, but they're operating as Dhyana Essentials, and you can find them online. So do check them out. She offers so many wonderful things, and I really respect her as my teacher. I learned so much from her. And now I am, carrying on this work in my own private practice, and I've made a big transition out of doing the hands-on work as of 2020, when everything happened and the world kind of radically shifted and we all had to switch gears. I suddenly found myself without a job, you know, because we couldn't do any of that hands-on in-person work. Initially, I developed some courses online to share with people under the umbrella of Cobra's Medicine Bag, and offer different courses in Ayurveda, which I call my Dosha Discovery Series, okay? My ultimate goal was eventually to make those courses free to the public, and that's what we're doing right now. I've made all those courses free to the public. I shut down my website, and I'm in process of transitioning all the courses over to blog format. I currently have the first 2 lessons for the Kapha Reset Panchakarma, Self-Care Panchakarma. It's a self-guided experience that you go through over a 42-day period. 2 of those days are for preparation and just sort of getting centered in what you're about to do, figuring out your whys, why it's important to you, preparing, getting some things together. And then I come live. This year, I'm going to be coming live starting next week for week 2. All right, week 2 is all about the deep cleanse. And so next week, I'll be going live Wednesday through Saturday every day, right around 11-ish. Okay, everybody knows with me, with Ted, and just the way the flow of the morning goes, it's 11-ish. Okay, it'll be sometime between 11 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That would be 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for those of you who are in the States. And we'll be doing some very specific work on these lives. It'll also give you an opportunity to communicate with me, share your experiences, bring your voice in, ask any questions you may have. So Ayurveda is a beautiful, beautiful healing path. It is straight from the Vedas, and it is the oldest system of medicine in existence. Okay, so everything that we know of now has branched off from Ayurveda, and Ayurveda itself means the science of life. And in Ayurveda, the philosophy is macrocosm is reflected in microcosm. So that means everything that we see in nature is also inherent within us. And Ayurveda works with these principles to bring the body into balance. And so this is Kapha season. Happy spring, by the way. We just had spring equinox come in at 11:06 p.m. last night. And so we're still officially in spring equinox because we got a whole 24 hours to work with here where we're at that point of balance. It's one of the cross quarter points of the year, and it's a very special time. And this particular spring, there's going to be so much kicking off. I've been getting so many downloads coming in about spring, and we are going to do a little drop-in reading for the collective just so we can see how we need to focus our intention this week in terms of Panchakarma. But first, I just wanted to drop in a little bit for those who are unfamiliar, and also for those of you who've gone through this with me before who didn't have a chance to download the course, where you can find the new course information so you can follow along. It's absolutely free. It's my seva. It's my offering to the community. And I'm going to guide you through as your Ayurvedic practitioner. And I've done Panchakarma hands-on. I've done Panchakarma at the Dhyana Center when I worked there back when they were open. And it's just a really phenomenal experience. Panchakarma means 5 actions of detoxification. And what we are doing with Panchakarma is we're really opening the road. And when I say we're opening the road, I mean that on every stratum of being. So mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, we're just getting everything that is blocking the channels of creativity, everything that is blocking our energy, everything that is reining in our life force, and we clear it out of the way so there is a way forward. And I always like to say that Panchakarma, the true journey begins after you have Panchakarma, because you're kind of doing a lot of karmic clearing when you're in the process of Panchakarma. And what does it involve? Well, it involves everything. Okay, we don't just deal with the physical. We'll certainly be dealing with the physical, and now is the time with kapha season where we do work on clearing out the heaviness left over from the winter season, from all the heavy foods and the kapha accumulation that can happen at that time. Kapha is the dosha that is associated with earth and water, and it is responsible for the health of our immune system, for our all of our structural systems in the body, our muscles, our bones, our structural integrity. We also do a lot of clearing out for the liver and the gallbladder, okay? Just to really get the digestive system going. Kapha also rolls over the lymphatic system, or the rasa, the river of life. So we do a lot of lymphatic stimulation to clear out blockages and enter into that flow of life, because when we look at the way that Ayurveda views life through that lens of macrocosm is reflected in microcosm, where we're experiencing blockages on our path, we're also experiencing those blockages within ourselves. So this can be blockages because of our BS, you know, our belief systems, things that are keeping us in sort of a stuck position in our lives. These can be emotional blockages, just things that have been repressed, emotions we haven't released, things we haven't expressed. This can be spiritual blockages, challenges that we're facing on our path, karma that we need to clear, which all of us are really familiar with right now, and we're at a very loaded time karmically, especially with what's coming up and what will be going down with this particular Panchakarma that we're doing this year for kapha season, because we have a full moon in Libra coming up on the 25th, and Libra's in the South Node right now. And Libra is all about, you know, weighing out that karma, finding that karmic balance. And we got a lunar eclipse coming in on that day. Then on the 8th of April, we have a full solar eclipse coming in the sign of Aries. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot to kind of balance out. There's also a lot we can't see at this time when we're looking at eclipse energy. So we always have to remember that we're kicking off eclipse season with a bang this year. Okay, so a lot of karmic cycles are being closed and there's new roads opening, but we do still have a lot to clear and a lot to integrate. And this is very significant because we are in the final stages of the age of the Kali Yuga. Right now, we will be reaching sort of the pivotal clearing point of that in the summer of 2025. So we're almost there. We can do it. Okay. I know everybody's been having a really rough time, but if you know anything about the Kali Yuga is the age of apathy. It's the age of tearing everything down, destroying all that's false. It's like tower moments. Everybody in the collective is dealing with this, but it's so necessary. And why it's necessary? So we can clear the way, so we can find our way forward. And that's exactly what Panchakarma is. Okay, so we work with a lot of different methods. With Panchakarma, we work with specific dietary changes to just unburden the digestive system, because with Ayurveda, the digestion is the seat of health. We look at stoking the Agni, or the digestive fire, but Agni as a concept goes so beyond just the digestion. It's also your spiritual fire. It's your transformational fire that you offer all that doesn't serve you upon that pyre to be transformed. Okay, so it's the thing that gets you to get moving, moves you into action. That's Agni. And actually Agni is associated with a sun deity in Ayurveda as well. So Agni has many different meanings, and that's one of the core things we work with, especially with kapha season, is to get the Agni going, to get the fire going. And that's so we can kind of burn through all that congestion or ama that builds up during the winter season, during Vata season. Okay, so ama is that which is undigested. And again, when we're looking at Ayurveda, we're looking at this on every stratum of being. So undigested thoughts, undigested emotions, undigested experiences on our spiritual path, undigested food that's sitting in our bellies because we don't have enough Agni or hydrochloric linoleic acid, digestive fire, all right? So we look to really stoke the Agni so we can warm everything up, we can thaw everything out just as the sun starts to break through in the spring and warms everything up and brings everything back to life. That's our goal with Ayurveda. And you'll be led step by step through this. And we'll dive a lot more into the particulars of that next week when we actually go into the Panchakarma cleanse that I'll be supporting you through and coming in daily with the lives. But I just kind of wanted to touch on these concepts a little bit and kind of give you an idea of what's ahead so you can be prepared. So how can you get your hands on the first 2 lessons of the course? I will be posting the lessons. There's 6 weeks worth of them. Okay, I got the first 2 weeks up right now on the blog, and you can find that at my new blog, which is rootsayurveda.blogspot.com. Okay. And for some reason on the blog, it only features the most recent post on the homepage. So what you want to do is you want to scroll down on that homepage, and at the bottom, you're going to see a tab there. And the tab is going to say older posts. Go ahead and click that, and it'll give you a view of everything that's been posted. All right. And you'll want to go down to the bottom post, which is week 1. All right. That's what you want to read this week. Week 1 is going to get you familiarized with what's in store. Week 1 is going to let you know about gentle ways to start to ease in and prepare yourself for the deep Panchakarma work as far as dietary cleansing that we'll be doing next week. And I wanted to present both of those weeks up front so you could be prepared and just get yourself organized, get yourself settled, and get your hands on anything you may need to dive into this. So it's helpful to have an idea of what's in store so you can do any necessary grocery shopping you need to do, so you can free up your schedule as much as possible, especially during cleanse week next week, because it's so important that you drop in as deeply as you can. Now, naturally, it's a self-care Panchakarma. So if you were going to an Ayurvedic center to receive Panchakarma, you wouldn't be doing anything. You wouldn't be lifting a finger. You'd have a team of Ayurvedic practitioners that were working on you, tending to your every need, and you'd be completely like booked out of work, and you'd just be receiving. But this is a self-care Panchakarma. And so it's something that's done over an extended period of time, which is actually meant to become somewhat of a lifestyle. And you may have noticed that Amanda said their Panchakarma life, and really this is something that can become a lifestyle for you. 2 days are kind of used to just get yourself centered, get your idea of what your goals are for your Panchakarma, what you're looking to transform in your life. And then 40 days are for the deep dive of doing the work. But you're naturally going to have the rest of your life to tend to during this time. So really, the only week when it's super important that you create as much space in your schedule as possible. In other words, maybe take a break from social media. Just give yourself a time out from that. Maybe turn off your phone at night so you're not disturbed. Beg out of any unnecessary obligations. Don't overextend yourself, and just create more space for yourself to give to yourself and nurture yourself. That would be next week. Okay. So week 1 that's up on the blog will get you all prepared. And I do have it posted on the community board here at Broad Coven. So you can drop in with that and you can check it out and give it a read and see what you think of it, okay? And you don't have to jump in with it if you're not comfortable. You're welcome to just follow along. You're welcome to have access to the information and apply it in your own way. Yeah, I love it. Yes, okay, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, see, Amanda's been on it. Amanda did 6 Panchakarmas last year, so That's how you can make it kind of a lifestyle, all right? And it works brilliantly. And we're going to be doing all the Panchakarmas. I'm going to do this every year, okay? Every year here at Broad Coven, we do this at the change of the seasons for the different doshas, right? So there's 3 different doshas. There's Vata, which leads all the other doshas, is also known as the mother of doshas, and is associated with the elements of ether and air, and that's associated with late fall, early winter season, okay? So we are already moving out of Vata season. We're not in Vata season anymore. Then the next one is Pitta, and Pitta is associated with water and fire. And when you're thinking of water in terms of Pitta, it's more like bilious water, like the digestive juices, which Pitta rules over, okay? And that's associated with summer and early fall, okay? And then we have Kapha, which is the season we're in now, which is associated with late winter through spring. All right. So we move in harmony with the seasons. We move in harmony with the seasons. And so right now the focus is on Kapha. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you are a Kapha type, okay? Because we have different constitutional types. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Ayurveda, we all have all 3 doshas within us, within our constitution. But when people talk about their Ayurvedic type, their dosha type, like for example, I'm a Pitta Vata, okay? I still have Kapha. I still have Kapha in my makeup. It's just that Pitta and Vata predominate in my constitution. So usually people are a combination of 2 types. Sometimes you have somebody, very rarely, that is a single dosha type. And then there's other times when you have somebody that's like pretty even across the board, either balanced or imbalanced, and they can be a tridoshic type. That's extremely rare though, okay? So yeah, I know, it really transforms your life. And this is the thing. Ayurveda is so valuable because what's different about Ayurveda from other approaches is not only that it's a holistic approach and that it deals with mind, body, spirit. It's also not about addressing the symptom. It's about going to the root cause of the symptom. In other words, how did the symptom get here? That's what we're going to address. That's what we're going to look at. That's what we're going to tend to. And then the other thing that makes Ayurveda different is that it's very focused on prevention as opposed to waiting until you are sick or you are not feeling your best before addressing matters. So you can go through a 40-day cycle where you set your goal, and this goal can involve health goals, and it can involve certain emotional landmarks you hope to reach or certain issues you want to resolve that you're struggling with, and certain outside goals that you want to see occur in your material reality. And this can be your focus for 40 days. And then you kind of like structure your Panchakarma work around that within the framework of the course. And I do guide through that and provide, you know, the support for that as you move through the course. You'll see everything is laid out. It's very easy. It's very simple to follow. You don't need to do it perfectly, okay? It's not about perfection. It's about consistency, all right? That's what really matters. And any effort you make in this regard will have a major, major result, okay? It's not about doing it all perfectly. So this is accessible to everyone too, because it doesn't require you to invest in lots of expensive, you know, supplements or anything like that. In fact, in Ayurveda, we don't really work with supplements because the food is the medicine, right? So you can see here that Amanda's saying that she's at her healthiest and people say she glows different. I call that the PK glow, you know? After you go through Panchakarma, you do have a different sort of glow. And I am ready myself. I'm so ready to like move the kapha because I got some kapha, you know, built up over this past season. So I'm ready to get it going. Let me take a little sip here of my dirty chai. Okay, so do drop in with the courses, check them out, okay? And I'll be presenting the courses on the blog as we get to that season. Okay, so right now I'm just going to be rolling out the lessons for the Kapha course. All right, once summer hits, I'll be rolling out the lessons for the Pitta course. And again, I'll go live for 1 week in the summer season to do the Pitta cleanse. All right, and each cleanse is different too and focuses on something different. And then when Vata season rolls around in the fall, same thing, right around fall equinox, I'll be rolling out the Vata course, and from there they'll remain up. And whenever I feel inspired to put up any kind of Ayurvedic post information, it will be on that blog. And this fulfills my goal and my desire, which was to make Ayurveda free to all. And it will save you an immense amount of money in terms of medical expenses, buying supplements, you'll see. Okay. And that's why I love Ayurveda too, is because it's accessible to so many people. And so this really makes me feel good to be able to offer this, keep this going. And I love bringing it in under the umbrella of my new kind of like name for it, Roots Ayurveda. It feels good. And I hope you enjoy the offering. So I wanted to talk a little bit about some initial things that have come in, because usually as I drop in to prepare to guide people through Panchakarma, there's always some kind of like downloads that come in. And I did get a couple downloads that came in. We're going to do a little read here as well for the collective, just to see what the focus is for this week in preparation for doing the deep dive cleanse next week for Panchakarma. And we're going to use the goddess guidance cards for that. But the first download I got in was, it's mating season. And that may sound funny, but it's true. It is mating season. So everything is coming back to life and everything is coming into being. The flowers are all coming into bloom, and we have all the beautiful, butterflies and hummingbirds and everything coming together in life to carry forward all that pollination, the trees, and everything is coming to bloom and coming to fruition and blossoming. And so there's this real beautiful energy that's there, that is that creative force of everything being in this harmonious, unifying kind of flow. But when we're thinking of mating season, okay, it's coming through as far as this Panchakarma is concerned, with really marrying those aspects within ourselves, the masculine, the feminine, the Shiva, the Shakti. So I loved how this was coming through, and it's coming through in such a, how can I say this, a very loving, like interconnected sort of way. And the totem medicine that came in is the hummingbird, which I just love. It's all about sweetness and joy. And again, that nectar of life, also known as ojas, okay, which is what we focus on with Ayurveda in Kapha season, really building the ojas. And the ojas is that which gives us vitality, that which makes us feel alive. But I love how it's coming through in this sort of like mating. We don't really think of this, about coming into union within ourselves in that alchemical way by uniting that masculine, feminine aspect, that Shiva, the Shakti. But it is how it is coming through this year for this round. And so I thought that was extremely intriguing. And then I also keep getting this message of milk and honey. Milk and honey. So I have a feeling we might have to bring in something that involves milk and honey, just in terms of some kind of blessing bath. Maybe we'll close out, Panchakarma with a blessing bath. I've been being visited by a rufous hummingbird, this rust colored. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's really interesting. It's been coming in very strongly, very, very strongly, this message of sweetness, like sweetness, unity, merging, like just coming to life, like bringing things together, and in such a sweet, but also sensual way too. So Very, very interesting. It's like all the senses are wanting to come to life. All the senses are wanting to stir. And when I thought about that, I thought, you know what? It actually makes sense because we've really had a few years where people have had a lot of difficulty just kind of coming back into the flow of life and into that quickening of life just from being isolated and the way everything was shut down in 2020. And I know there's been so many people that have really struggled to get back into the flow. And also just the changes that we're dealing with on a global level. It's pretty intense. Yeah, there's been tons of isolation, right? So it makes sense. It's like mating season. Yeah, it's like, it's also, I view that energy is like, yes, like merging your energy with life too, right? To come together to form, to create new beginnings, to create new ways of moving, flowing through the world. So look at this word mating and look at it outside the box of how you would normally look at it, right? This is a different lens to look through and see the way this word, this theme kind of plays out in your life this week. I think that that'll be kind of interesting. And then milk and honey, when I think of milk and honey, I think of the land of milk and honey. And as soon as I thought of the land of milk and honey, I thought of your body as sacred land. Okay, so this piece too. And it's interesting because spring equinox, or what is also known as the Stara, is a time of year when often cream can be a sacred offering to the land. And you can go and pour cream on the roots of a tree and give that over as an offering in gratitude for the way that all of nature provides for us. So I love that the milk and honey came in. Of course, we have bee energy too. So bee totem coming in as well, which bees are all about community. Okay, they're about community and coming together to bring things into being. I mean, of course, they bring in the sweetness of the honey. So there's a sweetness in the ways we bring our energies together, not only within ourselves, but within our communities, and the way we move in partnership with life and the beautiful flowering that comes from that. So these are just some initial points, some initial things to sort of sit with and feel out and see how those themes play out in your life this week. And I am going to do a little read here for the collective. Ooh, look at this. I love this. Bottom of the deck, we have Yamanja, golden opportunity. Important doors are opening for you right now. Walk through them. And look at that water energy associated with Kapha. She is the Orisha of the ocean, of the source. And I love this because Kapha is associated with the river, the rasa, the lymphatic fluid, right? And which is the source of life. And many rivers lead to the same source. So I love this. That's what we're doing. We're going through a road opening when we're doing Panchakarma. So we're opening those doors so those new opportunities can come in. And I just love this. Also, look at here's another totem coming in. We have dolphins. So that's all about prana. You know, dolphins are all about working with the breath too, just breathing it more deeply. And this is just a really like beautiful energy. So yes, this is a golden opportunity. And this is funny with this golden opportunity. I'm not going to touch in on that right now because I'm going to do a reality tunnel download for the community here later today that brings in this gold concept. Okay, so we're not going to talk about that right now, but this is just the initial energy coming in. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle for the entire collective, and I'm going to bring all of the signs in just so we can imbue all of your energy into this read. And hey, you know, even if you don't want to go through Panchakarma, you are welcome to drop in on these downloads. You are welcome to read about the information on the blog and just kind of take it in and, you know, just see what it opens up within you. What doors of opportunity does it open up within you? You might be surprised by what it brings forward. So, calling in Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. What should be our focus this week as we enter into this first week of spring, this first week of our Kapha reset, Panchakarma, and just getting ourselves prepared, doing our systems check, seeing where we're at, dropping in, getting in touch with our why, getting in touch with what we're desiring to transform in our lives, what roads we're wanting to open. What is our focus? Ooh, oh, okay, these want to come out. All right. What is our focus for this week? Those are coming out as crossing influences. So let's go ahead and dive in. Bottom of the deck, Cordelia, go outside. So yes, go outside. You have been indoors too long. Go outside and get some fresh air. So this coming in right off the bat, I love this. This is so perfect for spring. Very, very spring-oriented goddess energy here with Cordelia. So this is about, you know, go out for some walks. Just spend some time outdoors this week. Allow yourself to just get harmonized with the energy of the season. You'll notice that every season has a different energy signature to it. So this is about harmonizing yourself with that frequency. And the more that you can get outside and just let those breezes come in and notice all the things that are flowering, all the leaves that are coming back on the trees, all the new growth, you'll start to experience that being mirrored from within you as well. Okay, so it can sort of remind you, if you look at nature as a mirror of yourself, as your reflection, then it can help awaken within you the same process of starting to, you know, take the risk to move out of that place of being a tight bud and start to unfurl the petals of your heart and just being in that place of willingness and openness to allow that new energy to come in. Also, with that dolphin medicine that came in, just allowing yourself to go outside, maybe take some nice walks, you know, get the arms pumping. It's so good to get the lymphatic system beginning to flow a bit, move out some of that stagnant energy. Breathe deeply, take in the energy of that fresh air, let it clear out the cobwebs of the consciousness, and just allow yourself to sort of harmonize with the flow of life that's coming in now. Very beautiful. Also, I encourage you, whenever possible, open up the windows in your house, let the fresh air come in and kind of breathe out, well, I guess so. Breathe out the stagnant energy that's kind of collected within your living space and allow that new energy to come into the living space too. Naturally, this is a wonderful time to do some spring cleaning. I also encourage you that when you're out on your walks, if you see things that really remind you of the essence of spring or just are something that you feel very drawn to, whether it's a particular stone or maybe, you know, you want to go and pick some wildflowers, you know, anything like that, you can bring those items into your home and maybe even set up a little altar space for your Panchakarma journey. This is something that we used to like to do at the Dhyana Center. When we would do Panchakarma, we would set up the rooms for the clients we were working with. we'd set up a little like sacred space to do this work. So it doesn't have to be anything elaborate. You can set something up on a shelf. It can be on a bedside table. You can even just bring some of these elements into your environment. Bring some fresh flowers into your environment. Brighten up the colors in your environment. I'm going to finally like work on changing out to my new spring altar space for the area here that I do my reading work, and I'm looking forward to that. So just bring some of these elements in. And if you do feel like harmonizing with the energy a bit and just really honoring that connection of the way when we nurture nature, nature nurtures us in turn, you might want to go out today, maybe offer some cream to the roots of a tree, maybe give a little tobacco to a tree, and just give gratitude for the spirit of the land and thank Mother Earth for always supporting and, you know, giving us strength and sustenance, for providing us with abundance. And you'll also harmonize with those energies. It's amazing what happens when we give some conscientiousness to our connection with the earth and the way the earth provides, the way we suddenly find that we're provided for. Ooh, you did your altar yesterday. Nice. Daffodils and rosemary flowers. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so let's see. Before I look at these crossing cards, I want to go ahead and get out around here. What is coming in for the collective this week to prepare us for our puja week, our cleansing week, our purification week of Panchakarma next week, Spirit? What does the collective need to focus on this week as we prepare for our purification week next week for Panchakarma? I think we have some things to sort through. You know, these slick cards, they always take a while for the cards to come out. It's interesting. Oh, there we go. Okay, and it came out as a crossing influence too. Okay, so the fact that all of these cards are coming out crossing lets me know that we are working through some blockages. There are some things that are blocking our way, that are blocking our road, that are interrupting the flow. So let's see what we got here. Oh, I love it. She comes out. It's so perfect. Okay. So the first thing we have here is Nematona, sacred space. Okay, I can't make this up. It says create an altar. Create an altar or visit a power place to connect with the divine. Okay, so yes, I encourage you too, in terms of thinking about sacred space, don't just think about making this sacred space within your home by putting up some kind of symbolic altar that has on it symbols of the growth that you're wanting to see, the new beginnings you're welcoming in, your focus for your Panchakarma, different elements that represent spring to you. But I also encourage you to find a natural place, somewhere in nature that can become your power spot as you move through Panchakarma, because it will really support you as you move through this experience. It can be wonderful, even if it's just a special tree that you form a connection with. When we form this kind of connection with nature and we commit to being a steward of the land, it's so beautiful the way that we enter into this reciprocal flow, and we find the way that we are so supported in supporting nature in this way. And when I say be a steward of the land, it's not just about going and connecting with nature and making symbolic offerings like I was talking about, offering cream or offering tobacco to the land. It's also about really tending to that land. So if you see garbage laying around, picking up the garbage, you know, just giving a little care, a little attention, going out, doing some gardening, you know, tending to the land, it really can help you nourish that connection. Okay, so this coming in. So do see if you can find a natural spot. And I don't care if you live in the city, you can still find, you know, trees out and about. It doesn't have to be somewhere rural. You don't have to live out middle of nowhere to connect with nature. Make it easy to access, okay? So you don't have to feel like you're disconnected from nature unless you have to, you know, go somewhere way out of the way to drop in. It should be something that's easily accessible to you, even if it's just in your own backyard, okay? So do put up that altar and just sort of set that template of the sacred space, because this is something that comes very front and center with Panchakarma. It is about really recognizing that this is sacred space when we take this time to drop in really deeply and look at what we are needing to transform and alchemize in our lives. It's very sacred space when we're moving through the closing of old karmic cycles and we're preparing to step up into our north node, what we're meant to do at this stage of our life. So we are at that place where we're really at the in-between point right now, where we're closing the door on the old and we're preparing to step into the new. So create some sacred space around this. And again, like I was saying, for next week, when it comes to the deep dive with the purification, the puja week, when we're doing the cleansing, do see how much you can free up your schedule as much as possible. I understand you have to go to work, you have certain obligations, things you need to tend to, but as much as you can create sacred space where you have no interruption, where you can just drop in really deeply and tend to your own nurturing and self-care, it will benefit you in innumerable ways. And with the candles that I'm seeing here, it's also making me think that nighttime might be a really good time to create this sacred space, especially with, you know, day-to-day responsibilities. This is a time when you can drop in and really nurture yourself and have that quiet time to yourself. I'm also picking up this piece of, you might want to get an honor candle, and this can be something that you can keep on your altar, that you can light every day, and you can even do a little bit of trot talk with that candle, just staring into the candle flame, meditating on what you're wanting to transform and offering it up to Agni, the fire of that flame, for transformation. It's something that can really bring a lot of focus, calm, centeredness to the consciousness, and it can be very activating for manifestation as well. Okay, it's a meditative technique. It's also very beneficial for the pineal gland. Okay, so that can help put you in touch with your own intuitive awareness, your own vision for how to step forward into your future. And the way you can work with an honor candle is you can light this candle at the end of the day, and as you're meditating on the flame, before you set your vision, you can focus on all the ways you're proud of yourself for how you showed up that day. Maybe list three things you're really proud of, like, I really, you know, made time today to go outside and get in a good walk and give myself that opportunity to make contact with nature. Or today, instead of snapping back when I dealt with that really cantankerous person, I took a deep breath and I instead came from a place of responding. Okay, so this is also about recognizing the ways that you are making progress and the ways that you are showing up for yourself and the things you have to be proud about. Okay, because it's good to have a healthy sense of pride. We're not talking about being full of ego here. Okay, we're talking about just naturally acknowledging your accomplishments, acknowledging the ways that you are able to show up, acknowledging the progress you're making. And it can be a beautiful way just to honor yourself as you're stepping into this journey, okay? You can also use Trot Talk at the beginning of your day to sort of like set your intention. And I do have a video where I go more deeply into this concept. I have it set as a featured video on this channel, and it's about setting your reality tunnel, okay? So check out that video. I'll go ahead and put the link on this live after we're done, so you can check it out too, because I go into a whole practice with Trot Talk for that, which is candle gazing, and I think you could find that very beneficial. And I love it. I love it that she came out. It's just so fitting. Here we got her. We got Mama Kali coming on through, which is so perfect for Panchakarma, okay, because she definitely is front and center with Panchakarma. Kali helps us cut away that which no longer serves. She helps us move through what needs to be leveled in our lives, what needs to be released, what needs to be transformed by Agni, that transformational fire offered up on that pyre. So we can step into the creative cycle when she moves more into the Shakti energy or her more tantric aspect, which again brings me back to that mating season message. Okay, so I do feel like we're moving more into that tantric kind of quickening. That's what we'll be stepping into. But before we can open up that creative avenue within ourselves and in our lives, we first have to dissolve everything that is blocking that creative life force energy from flowing through us. Okay, so it says the old must be released so the new can be entered. Okay, so do consider this week. Think about what cycles are you closing? What is it time to bring to an end in your life? And honor this as the beautiful unfolding process that it is with that lotus flower there. Lotus flower is very symbolic of no mud, no lotus, okay? Lotuses are gorgeous. They're just such a beautiful flower, right? When they come into bloom. They're also a symbol of that elevation of consciousness, the awakening of the inspired consciousness. But it doesn't come overnight, right? It rises up out of the mud and out of the muck, okay? So honor where you're at. Each stage of that unfolding process has its own beauty. Yes, even when we're in the mud, okay? Even when we're in the muck. So Kali is coming in to guide you this week to really look at what you need to bring to a close in your life. What no longer serves a purpose. What is ready to be transformed. And this can be looked at on all levels of being. And in fact, I encourage you to do that, maybe even do a little journaling around this. What thoughts do you have that are no longer serving you? You know, what emotions are you still holding on to that you need to release, that you need to process? Where are you needing to change things in your life, whether it be in the realm of work or in your relationships or even just how you're showing up and caring for your body on a day-to-day level? This is just not about being harsh with yourself. It's not about beating yourself up. It's not about blaming yourself. It's just bringing conscious awareness around these things. What is no longer serving a purpose and is now ready to be transformed. So Kali will give you the strength to make these changes, to draw a line under that was then, and now we're stepping into the new, the now, okay? The present. And the present is the point of transformation. So we know that as we enter Panchakarma, we are working with 5 different actions, which I reveal in the free course, okay, that's on the blog. And you'll learn about this as we move through it step by step. Each step builds on the next, okay? But we're dealing with 5 actions of purification to clear out karma. Okay, so we're all in this work. I know you hear about this so much in Tarot Land on YouTube. This person's a karmic, that person's a karmic. Okay, you're going to learn what karma is really about as you move through this course. Karma is a Vedic concept, okay? Karma just simply means action. We are all born into karma. We are all karmic, all of us, every single one of us. You wouldn't even be here in a physical body if you weren't, okay? We all have karma that we need to process. And until we are no longer in this physical body, we have karma, okay? So this is a very important karmic cycle that we are moving through because we're in those last stages of the Kali Yuga and because we have Libra at the South Node, which is all about karmic law, okay? Big transformational time. So just open up to this. What karma do you have to do? What is your work to do? This is the better way to look at karma instead of looking at it as karma is going to get you, because it doesn't work like that. It really doesn't. That's concept that's flawed, that comes from people's desire to come from the ego and want to punish people for their choices. It's silly, because the reality is it's all one energy. It's all one unified energy. So What harms one harms all. And this is, I know, I get it. It's a radical concept to move into, but this is what we're looking at when we're looking at the karmic concept, okay? We're not free until we're all free. So you should never want there to be this energy like, well, karma is going to get you. It's like, no, how can we do the work that we need to do so we can free ourselves from these attachments, and so we can all move beyond the Maya, the illusion, and we can move into the moksha, the liberation, all right? And we can only do that when we come back to that unity consciousness, where we really remember that it is all one energy. It is all interconnected. There is no separation. And it's really hard for people to adapt to. It's really hard for people to adjust to, because we have bought so much into the lie that it is separation. All right. So do be mindful of this as well. Really allow this Panchakarma to be an opportunity to stop focusing on the distractions outside of yourself, the need to blame others for where things are at. Instead, look at, what is my work? What is the work that I have to do? Where am I needing to transform my habits? Where am I needing to transform my behaviors? Where am I needing to transform emotionally, spiritually? What am I holding on to that is not allowing me to move into that energy of the hummingbird totem, that place of joy and expansion and sweetness and drinking in the nectar, the ojas of life? How can I move with that bee totem energy? How can I move into that place of productivity and more community minded, as opposed to being more singularly minded? Okay. So beautiful energy here. It's out of what we end that we come to the place of the new beginning. And so it begins again and again and again, because we know that this is the circle of life. This is the cycle of life. It's a continual life, death, rebirth, on and on and on and on it goes. And yes, we experience this in our physical form in this incarnation, but if you really look at it, we experience these cycles every single day. Nature herself experiences this every single day. You see it when the sun rises in the new beginning, and the life that unfolds throughout the day, and the ending that comes at night when the sun goes down. Okay, so really start to pay attention to this, the way that as you start to look at nature more, as you start to connect with nature more and the frequency of nature more, you will see that these are actually just reflections of you. You too go through these same cycles on a day-to-day basis. And this can help us kind of like shake ourselves out of that inertia of this fatalistic thinking that, oh, everything is awful, nothing will ever change, my life is just a mess, or wherever you may be, okay? It allows you to move into more of this place of empowerment, because you recognize that nothing is permanent, okay? And with that realization, it's sort of like the blessing and the bane, right? Because sometimes we experience something so beautiful, we don't want it to end. But to resist that is to resist the very flow of nature. And that's what actually causes us problems. That's what creates the blockages on our path, when we resist that this is the fundamental nature of life, that all things are ever changing. Nothing stays the same. You never step in the same river twice. So I love that she comes in, all right? So perfect that she comes in, because she always comes in with Panchakarma, and she is our guide on Panchakarma. Okay, so let her guide you this week on what you're needing to bring to a close. Ask her for guidance to help show you what you need to cut off, you know, so you can experience new growth. Just like, you know, with things that come into bloom, even with a rose bush, right? You have to prune. You have to prune if you want the bloom. You can't just expect to have the bloom without doing that work. And then I love this to come in. We have Anye, leap of faith. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy, moving into that expansion. Take a risk and put your heart's true desire into action. All right. So with this piece here, I encourage you this week to also consider, what is a personal dream you have? Okay. If you could experience a radical transformation in your life 42 days from now, 6 weeks from now, right? Pick one area. It's best if you distill it, okay, into like a single-minded focus. What would that be? What would be the goal you went for? Now, this could be a health goal, like maybe you're wanting to release some heaviness from your body. Okay, that could be a great goal. You want to get in shape, you want to get fit, right? That could be your goal. Maybe it's about experiencing healing in a particular relationship, but you have a lot of fear about reaching out to a person, entering into that dynamic, doing that work. That could be a goal. Maybe it's taking a risk to go back to school, you know, so you can get some education and up your skill set and head in a new career direction. Or maybe you're wanting an eat, pray, love experience. You're wanting to just like set yourself free. You're wanting to go out and roam in the world and rediscover yourself and kind of be a traveling vagabond for a while, okay? Whatever it is, I want you to consider one goal, one area that right now to you feels like, ooh, I'm a little nervous about that, or that seems a little lofty. Ted's agreeing with this. Ted says this is good, okay? Or maybe you feel like, I don't know if I can hit that. Okay, it can be something that you have insecurity about. It should be something that involves a little straightening by fire, okay? Because this is what Panchakarma is all about. It's that transformational energy of fire. So put your feet to the fire a little bit, all right? We're not talking about being harsh on yourself or being unrealistic, okay? But we are talking about challenging your edge. So you do want to look at something that's like, okay, in order for me to do this, like I do need to knuckle down. There are things I'm going to need to change. I'm going to need to believe in myself, and I'm going to need to push through blockages, and I'm going to need to really stay with it even when it gets tough, okay? Oh, I love this. Yes, more flexibility on many levels. Beautiful. I love that. That's excellent, okay? So whatever your goal is, all right, set that as your template. And maybe even as you create this sacred space, okay, and you consider with the endings and the beginnings with Kali, okay, in order for me to reach this goal, what habits do I need to release, all right? What is getting in the way of me reaching that goal? What are the excuses I have that prevent me from stepping into this? And really set this as like your central focus for your Panchakarma and moving through this over the next 40 days. And then commit to it, commit to making this leap of faith. Now, I really encourage you too to get in touch with your why, right? This is so important because often it's really difficult for us to commit to a direction, to dedicate ourselves to a particular direction, unless we're constantly rooted in our why. You have to really understand why it's important to you, all right? So when you make this goal, I also want you to consider how would it feel if you reach that goal. Really get in touch with it viscerally, emotionally. How would it feel? What would your mental landscape be like if you reached this goal? How would your life change? How would it benefit you? And now let's take this the next step further, since we did have that bee medicine come in, which is all about community. How would it benefit others as well? All right, just really look at that. And you might think, well, this is just a personal goal, so how is it going to affect others? Well, you can look at this very deeply. First of all, anytime that we improve our lives, anytime that we take the risk to grow, to evolve, we are benefiting the collective. We truly are, because we're not all free until we're all free, all right? So any step that you can take to focus on your growth and liberate yourself is going to ultimately benefit the collective. But also, if you reach this goal, it's going to change the way you show up in life. And that's going to change the quality of your exchanges with other people, okay? So really focus on this and get very centered in it and connect with the feeling of this. And then I encourage you to bring maybe some symbols, okay, of this goal, whether it's a picture or some kind of knickknack, you know, it can be anything that symbolizes it to you, to put on that altar space that you create, okay? And again, it doesn't need to be an elaborate altar. It can just simply be a shelf that you dedicate to holding this space for you of what your intentions are for this journey of transformation you're about to enter. Let me do a cut of the deck and we'll close this out. I'm really excited. I'm so ready for this. I so need this year, and I'm so happy to be journeying through it with the rest of you. Okay, let's check this out. Kind of the deck energy. Damara. Guiding children. You are good at helping, counseling, and healing children. Use your skills to help children now. Okay, this has been coming in a lot. Okay, some of you may have children, right? So this is also something you can bring your children into as well, all right? You can help them also experience their own Panchakarma. That's a beautiful way to kind of bring it together as a family and make it accessible. Ah, hi. Oh, that's okay, Jennifer. Wonderful to have you. Wonderful to have you. I'm excited to read for you too. So thank you so much for booking a personal with me. I really look forward to reading for you. This is going to be great for you. I'm so happy to have you along for this ride and all the new people here at the channel. So it's okay that you're an hour behind. You're never behind. You're right on time, okay? You're right on time. Anytime you come to this, likewise, all of you will catch the replay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Wonderful to have you here, all right? So I'm also feeling this Damara, what's coming in with this guiding children, as well as there's this concept of activating the parent, activating the inner parent for the inner child. So a lot of times when we are doing this work of starting to get the lymphatic system flowing and we're clearing out all the blockages, the mental blockages, the emotional blockages, the physical blockages, certain things can come up that are related to our young self, you know. And this is one thing about when we really get the lymphatic system flowing, which is something we definitely focus on with this particular Panchakarma for Kapha season. You know, your lymph system is intimately connected with your emotions, okay? So as you get your lymphatic system flowing, you may have some emotional release. As you start to do the body work, you know, the self-care body work that we go over in the course, your body has cellular memory. It remembers every experience you've ever been through. It's true. This is not woo-woo I'm talking here. This has been scientifically established. Muscle has memory. There is cellular memory. You know, so these experiences that we've had, these traumas that we've experienced in our lives, they can be stored in our bodies. So do be prepared. And it is quite natural that as you are doing this work that you can have a lot of release of emotion. And there may be times, especially next week, when we move more into the puja, the purification work, where you can feel really vulnerable, all right? So this is also just a reminder to create that space, like I was saying, you know, so you can really drop in. And when you are experiencing that emotional release, to activate that internal parent and just be gentle with yourself, you know, be gentle with yourself. There's times when I've gone through Panchakarmas where, you know, I've had to, you know, kind of like, you know, just be tender with myself and just kind of like pat my heart and say, it's okay, you know, it's all right to feel what you're feeling. It's okay to, you know, cry. It's okay to let it out and to just speak to myself in a loving, nourishing way. And I want you to think of it in this way too, as you're moving through your Panchakarma, and understand that when you do feel activated, because you will be activated, all right? You just need to be prepared. You're clearing out karma. So there's going to be times when you will be activated. There may be times when you even throw a temper tantrum, all right? Let's just call it what it is, okay? Don't beat up on yourself about that. I want you to really view yourself as your young self at those times when you are feeling activated, when you do have these emotions come up in you, and think, how would I talk to a child? How would I support a child going through this experience? And activate your inner parent at those times. Now, what would a parent do for a child? A parent would consider, what is this child needing at this time? So, you know, there's going to be times when you're going to need to bring this influence in too. So again, you know, you wouldn't be like putting down your child and saying, you know, you don't have a right to feel that. You wouldn't shame. I hope you wouldn't. Okay, you wouldn't shame them. You wouldn't make them wrong for feeling what they are feeling. You would give them a nice, safe space to express themselves emotionally and to feel comforted and held in the process. So show up for yourself in this way too, whether that's, setting yourself up even a little space where you can cocoon, where you can nest when you are feeling sensitive, creating a little like cozy space where you can have maybe some cozy blankies, and some soft pillows, heck, you could even put up a blanket for it if you wanted to, and it's also about approaching this with that same childlike sense of wonder too, where you are just approaching it from an innocent place of self-discovery. Okay, so just allow the journey to unfold naturally. Don't put yourself under too much pressure. Wow. And on the cut of the deck, we close with the way that we opened up. There she is again, Yamanja, golden opportunity. So this is really beautiful, okay? There's so much that will open up for you and so much you'll be blessed with if you really give yourself over to this experience. So I hope that you will. And Yamanja is also about really letting go, releasing, giving over. Okay, so just allow yourself to give yourself over to the flow of this process. And this is really beautiful. So again, please do check out the course, check out those first 2 lessons that are at rootsayurveda.blogspot.com. And I have the link on the community board so you can easily access it. Give the first and second week a read. Okay, we'll be diving into week 2 next week, but this will be very beneficial for you because it'll just help you prepare and set yourself up for success. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for dropping in with me, whether you were able to make the live or whether you drop in on the replay. I appreciate you. Welcome to all the new subscribers. I'm so happy to have you here and to share this experience with you. Thank you to all the members and the way you've supported the growth of this channel and supported me as I've stepped into this arena, which is very new for me. And I just appreciate all of you. And I look forward to next week when we dive into the nitty gritty and do that purification work. Take care. Have a beautiful day. And I'll be back later with a collective read for the reality tunnel for this week. We're building on last week's, and it's pretty intriguing. Okay, so take care. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Jennifer. Beautiful, beautiful blessings to you today. Take care.